I'm Dana Denha, and you're watching FYI. We're in the midst of the brutal part of winter where the blues kick in. Normally, we may be able to enjoy some events only the cold weather can host. But since this year has been nothing but normal, let's check out this 2019 date where temporary sculptures were chiseled out of ice.
For the fourth year in a row, Washtenaw County Parks and Rec has been hosting the Ice Carving Festival, where teams throughout southeast Michigan compete.
We have 3 teams from Macomb Community College. We have a team from Washtenaw Community College and University of Michigan.
For this competition, there were no regulations. We got to carve whatever we wanted.
Ice was flying as the competition got underway.
We had 1 block per person, so my team of 2, we got 2 blocks of ice, so that's how we were able to create a dragon with wings.
They're carving 2 sculptures. One is a camera, just like here, and then another one's a gecko.
There are chainsaws, blow torches. It looks like there's also just some household items like irons and anything that heats up and creates some type of heat so they can melt pieces of ice, it seems that they're using.
You get to watch it happen right in front of you, and although it disappears within a few hours under the sun, it's still so much fun to do and to watch. It's hopefully going to be a passion for the rest of my life because it's got to be the most fun I've ever had.
The city has a quick and easy service available to report problems that may arise throughout Ann Arbor, like potholes, streetlight repair, and trash pickup issues. Learn more about A2 Fix It in this month's City Roundup in 60.
Hello, my name is Robert Keller with the City of Ann Arbor, here to tell you a quick and easy way to report problems to the city that you need to get fixed. Problems like potholes, streetlight outages, or snow or ice on sidewalks or streets. It's called A2 Fix It. A2 Fix It is a tool you can access online. Just simply go to a2gov.org/A2Fixit or download the app for your smartphone. Now keep in mind, A2 Fix It isn't for everything. A2 Fix It isn't for emergencies, crime issues, or flooding or water problems. But for practically everything else, A2 Fix It is your best and easy way to let us know you need something fixed.
We all know February is Black History Month, but did you know there are events happening nearly every day to support and celebrate the contributions that Black people have made to our country? Joining me is Saveri Nagnigami, student coordinator, Taylor Scott, and Jack Williams III, Black History Month Leadership Committee members for the University of Michigan Multi-Ethnic Student Affairs, or MESA. Welcome to the show.
Glad to be here.
So why don't you first just tell me what MESA is and why you guys wanted to be involved while on campus at the University of Michigan?
Yeah, so the Office of Multi-Ethnic Student Affairs, or MESA, as you said, is the office that deals with making sure students and student organizations that represent students of color are able to conduct their programs and that they're able to conduct advocacy efforts in order to bridge equity gaps within the university and externally as well. So we have around 5 umbrella quote unquote organizations: the Black Student Union, the South Asian Awareness Network, the United Asian American Organization, and La Casa, the Arab Student Association, and the Native American Student Association. So 6 orgs that we sponsor. However, we also work with other organizations of color, and we also sponsor the Heritage Month.
So I got involved with MESA last year, actually. I'm a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated Epsilon chapter here on campus. And one of my line brothers, Tyrone Edwards, he had an idea to do a Black History Month gala because he saw that there was no formal event that the university did on campus to honor Black History Month. So between himself, people from the NPHC, which is the National Panhellenic Council, which houses all of the Black fraternities and sororities, and with help from Sav and Andrew Ward from MESA, he was able to put on a gala last year in the Union, and it was really beautiful. Food was great, entertainment was great, the program was really amazing. And so the rest of my line and the rest of our chapter was like, oh, Tyrone, like, we didn't know that this was you. Like, he didn't really say it. He said he was helping, but we didn't realize that he really helped put it together. And so he just graduated in December, and so I just wanted to help, you know, continue on the legacy that he started. And so when Mesa came to me asking, you know, how I wanted to be involved with Black History Month, I said any way you all want me to. And so that's why I'm so glad and so honored that I was able to participate in the discussion with Latasha Brown, the pre-discussion that we had before the main event, and as well as lend a video of me singing for the event.
Nice. Taylor, did you want to add anything?
Yes. So, like Jack, I also got involved with MESA last year. It was my first year on campus. And with such a big campus, especially it being a PWI, a predominantly white institution, I found that I needed to find spaces and be around spaces where I was with people of color, specifically Black people. And so MESA gave me that opportunity to help create events and create spaces for us to have that experience. And so it only made sense for me to participate again next year when Andrew asked me to. So I'm very glad I did it.
You find more people are wanting to get involved with MESA and Black History Month this year because the climate that we're in, you know, we've seen such profound racism more so than we've seen in decades. And I think that people on campus would want to be more involved because we don't want to see this happen. It's disgusting.
Yeah, I think we had a really good turnout this year, especially because it was a lot more accessible. All I had to do was just log on to the event. And there's multiple events going on throughout the month as well.
Yeah, we're going to discuss that in a little bit, because if you go on your calendar, it's like almost every day you can experience different things going on. And I think it's just so great that you're thinking about that, because obviously people's schedules are different. So not everyone's going to be able to join in every day, but you're making it available and you're making it sort of like repetitive in ways so you can see it one week if you didn't experience it the week before.
That's the one really great thing about Zoom, having things be virtual, because even a bunch of people told us that they couldn't see Latasha Brown, but now on our website, we have that recording up so you can see how amazing she was. And I just think that's a really great thing.
So why don't you guys tell me about some of the things that are happening virtually for Black History Month and why you wanted these events to take place this year? Because I'm sure you guys sort of had a say in it.
Yeah, so actually today we're having an event hosted by the NAACP U of M chapter about COVID-19 and general racial disparities in healthcare. We have an event tomorrow happening discussing intersectionality within the LGBTQ plus identity and the Black identities. And we also on campus. And then we also are doing an Arab Student Association and African Student Association collaboration about colorism. So those are three of the many events we're having. And we're gonna wrap up this month on March 1st with a closing keynote from Janaya Khan, who's the International Black Lives Matter Ambassador. So those are a couple of the events, but we really wanted to approach this with intentionality given all of the calls for anti-racism last year. And Black History Month didn't start last year. We've been doing this for quite some time. So I think this year we really wanted to approach it from the perspective of now people are paying attention. So how can we make a really big impact, not just with the number of events, but with the quality of events and the people we bring in?
I agree. I think this year is really important for you guys to bring that to the forefront. I think it's important that people know where to go. Where do they go? How can they watch and take part in these events?
I'd like another event that I'm kind of helping spearhead. Sony Music has campus representatives on campus, and so they reached out to the MPHC chapter, and I just caught the email on a whim. I'm on the e-board, and so they sent us all the email, and they were looking to do a program featuring the MPHC professors on campus and one of their artists talking about the impact on Black Greek life just in the world in general, because a lot of members of those organizations have impacted Black history, and some of them are Black history themselves. Like my organization, Alpha Phi Alpha, we're the first organization started within the Divine Nine, and so there's so much history that goes along with that and all the other orgs to follow. And so that'll be coming up towards the end of the month, and we're still planning it, we're still putting things together. But like Sav said, Black History Month is not a new thing, right? We all know about it, especially, you know, growing up Black in school, February, that's all it is. Black History Month concert. You're learning about these people, and so now I think it's time for us as college students to be the change and to really make it a lot more impactful in ways that we want to see, and not ways in which people think that we want to see it.
There's also another event coming up at the end of the month, and basically it's going to be a discussion with the Dean of the College of Engineering, as well as other College of Engineering alumni, about being Black in their experience. And I think this is probably I'm looking forward to this event the most, because usually, or what we've noticed is that last year we didn't have much inclusion between Central and North Campus. North Campus houses College of Engineering, as well as SMTD, School of Music, Theater, and Dance, as well as the School of Architecture. And so I believe that once we can include those, we can be more inclusive of like the entire college experience at Michigan.
Yeah, I know that is sort of the strange thing about Michigan, where you end up being sort of segregated on campus depending on what your major is. So you're not interacting with more people that you probably would love, and you probably would have a lot in common with these people too. So,
Yeah,
so
I'm a North Campuser, so I'm excited to always bridge the gap between North and Central Campus.
I'm sure you are. I like that you mentioned Greek life too, because I don't think that is something that people predominantly associate with Black people. I've never really thought about it much. I wasn't a person that was involved in Greek life, but it seems like that's opened a lot of doors for you, and that's why you're here talking to me today.
Yeah, definitely. I was initiated in the winter of 2019, and so all throughout last school year and even now, I just try to use my platform and the resources that I have. That's how I met Sav, was through Greek life and through working with MESA and all these other organizations on campus. And I think people. I'm getting older in my Greekdom. I'm coming up on 2 years in March, but I'm learning how little people kind of know about it. Like, they know kind of the basics of like what they see, but they really
Yeah, if
don't.
you're not involved,
Yeah, if
sure.
you're not involved, or you don't have family members or really anybody who's a part of it, then you don't really know. Like, I knew in high school, like I knew what it was, but getting on campus and seeing it, like, oh, you gain a better understanding of it. And I think it's important that we acknowledge the history here, because a lot of these orgs were founded in times where it was not super acceptable for Black people to go to college. While the majority of orgs were founded at historically Black colleges and universities, I know my org, along with several others, were founded at PWIs. Our organization was founded at an Ivy League school. We're the only one at an Ivy League school, and so you can only imagine what that was like in the early 1900s for Black students. And so I think it's really important that we honor that history and that legacy.
Yeah, for sure. And Taylor, I also like that you mentioned engineering, because I'm sure that a lot of times you feel alone in the engineering world as a Black female.
Yes, especially. And I think that's why it's so important that we have this collaborative effort. I know I'm also involved with NSBE, the National Society of Black Engineers. And I think that that's also helped to strengthen that relationship. But I do think engineering especially is where we do need to have this conversation, because it's the working towards diversity, equity, and inclusion is something that you don't think is important until it becomes important. Like, for example, in class, we were talking about dam failures. And if you don't understand like how is that going to impact places where the dam is built, then you're not really being an inclusive engineer.
Yeah, yeah. I also wanted to mention, it looks like you're tackling mental health issues, which I actually think is a great thing to be talking about, not just for people that are in the Black community. I think this is something that we all should be talking about right now. During this pandemic, I think it's been eye-opening to me that people that I thought were like these really strong people are now, everyone's vulnerable, and in this time it's like we're all living in this strange time that we've never experienced before, of loneliness, even if you're with people. So I really like that you're talking about mental health and making it a subject that is open, that we should be open about talking about, and not something that we should be struggling in silence.
I definitely want to say I think it's a huge issue that we should tackle in the Black community, especially because there's still this stigma associated with mental health. And so I just think we need to have these discussions. And so I'm really happy that MESA is helping to have these discussions.
Yeah, and I was going to say along the same lines, I'm not Black, so I can't speak for the Black community. However, as a person of color, I can attest to the fact that it is very stigmatized because people of color are kind of just told that you have to man up and deal with whatever life throws at you, when in reality, whatever you're being thrown at is a result of systems of oppression. And so I think mental health is a great gateway to broader racial justice and broader self-liberation, I guess. It's an act of resistance, if you will.
Yeah. Jack, did you want to add on to that or?
Yeah, I think it's really important that, especially as college students, we're young adults, we're learning how to deal with the issues that we face on a day-to-day basis, whether they be big or small. And I think it's really important to talk about it because a lot of people are starting to realize depression, anxiety that they've dealt with for years, they're finally able to put a name to it, and they're finally starting to realize how to cope with it, because you hear often in communities of color, just pray about it or just be all right. And while whatever religion you ascribe to, while that may help, like, I think there's still oftentimes we neglect that there's a medical thing going on there as well. Like, there's a lack of serotonin, there's a lack of something going on that you need help with, and it's kind of shunned upon, it's kind of frowned upon, also because we haven't had access to it. And so if we don't have access to it, people are scared of things that they don't know about.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why they often just say, God got it, you'll be fine. And like I said, if that's what you ascribe to and that's what you believe to, definitely that helps. But we also have these systems in place for other people like us to help us with these issues.
And I mean, we've talked about, gender and stuff, and I'm sure I think we all know it's worse for a Black man to have mental illness and be comfortable talking about it with people. It's something that and from what I've heard, it's something that a lot of Black men, when they do deal with mental illness, feel like they can't talk about it with anybody at all. So I think like you said, it's like, let's talk about it now. Let's get it out there, and let's, let our emotions out, because that's fine too. It's okay to cry. It's okay to have emotions.
Yeah, definitely. I know oftentimes for Black men, it's kind of, it's frowned upon in general, but sometimes you're ridiculed for it. If you try to talk about what you're going through, you get called all types of names and things like that, when really, you're a human being. Like, these are issues that we all go through. We all feel down sometimes. Like I said, whether they be, severe or whether they be small, like, I'm just really not feeling it today. Or, like, I know for me, something I've been talking about with some of my friends is I just feel like I'm going through the motions right now.
Yeah.
Like, you log on, open your computer, log on, log off, take a break, log on again, like, and we're just going through the motions now, and that can be really draining. And so I think it's really important for organizations like MESA to allow platforms for these conversations to happen, so that we can take somewhat of a break from the mundane, logging onto Zoom, listening to lectures, whatever the case may be.
Well, before we go, I would like each of you to tell me why that people should take advantage of all that MESA has to offer this month. And I'm sure you guys have a lot to offer any month of the year.
Speaking as a non-Black person of color, I think we all made either collective or personal commitments last summer to do better or to become a better ally. And I think now is the perfect time to walk the walk and say what or actually live out the values you said you would live out. And a little plug for what's upcoming at MESA. APIA Heritage Month is next month, I believe, followed by Arab Heritage Month. So lots of Heritage Month activities.
Awesome. Taylor?
Yes, this month is so exciting. And I think what makes this month so impactful is the fact that we're having real conversations that are actually prominent in today's society. Like with Latasha Brown, we were talking about political rights and how Black people need to wield their power and realize how that power can be manifested into the change we want to see. We're talking about colorism, health disparities. These are real issues. And while we still talk about those real issues, we also have time for some breath of fresh air, I would say, or times to more celebrate. Like, I know there's an event coming up. I think it's Black Jeopardy coming up with an organization of the Divine Nine. So there's something for everybody to enjoy.
Yeah, let's not forget to have fun too, right?
I think a big thing for me when thinking about Black History Month and why people should take advantage of the various programs that their college or university does is because we want to um, look into the past, we want to acknowledge the work of the past, we want to see where we are now, celebrate where we are now, but then talk about how we can get to a better place and what work, the work that has been done, the work that we're doing, and the work that still needs to be done. And in that, we need to find times for celebration. We need to find times to think about, a Black person did this first, or this was the first Black person to do X, Y, and Z, and to really celebrate that. A big thing for me. I know it's not necessarily it's tied to this, but June is Black Music Month. I'm an artist. I'm in SMT. I'm a singer, and so when thinking about Black History Month, I think about those prominent artists throughout history who have, been the first or have made very, very, big positive impacts and changes in the world of music and in the world of entertainment. And so I think it's really important that we celebrate those things, or even in whatever field you may, whether it be engineering, the arts, literature, whatever the case may be. Black History Month is a time to celebrate. We look into the past, but we celebrate where we are and where we're going.
Well, thank you all for telling me about what MESA is offering and telling me how I can celebrate Black History Month with all of you.
Yeah, no problem. Glad to be here. Thank you for having us.
For more on this and other programs, visit a2gov.org/CTN. Visit youtube.com/CTN Ann Arbor to see all that we have to offer. And remember to like, comment, and share. Thanks for watching and tune in next time to FYI.